Is Slenderman real? I'll let you be the judge today. So in our very first clip, captured back in 2017, we've got this man who was filming himself walking around his campsite after noises from outside his tent woke him the heck up. As you can see, the man is very clearly petrified as he's wandering around looking for signs of life. He walks around this wooded area before he turns around and sees something terrifying. This white, skinny figure appears before the man, resembling, you guessed it, you know why you're here, Slenderman. This guy loses his breath, turning around to run, and the video comes to a shuddering end. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Slenderman, since we're just getting kicked off today, this being started appearing online in about 2009, and ever since then, everybody's been like, did I see him? Did I see him? Did I see him? According to the YouTube channel NVTV, the cameraman who captured this clip was camping at his favorite site on a trip, and he never returned. His camera was left behind along with his car, all his belongings, and I don't think he was ever found. So this clip was shared online and a lot of folks were like, this is the real Slenderman. The real thing is out there. And somebody else was like, I can't think of what else it might be. And personally, I don't want to think of what else it could be. A paranormal probe was launched in the Midlands back in 2015 following 4 sightings of Slenderman. Long, stick-thin specters feared around the world. Each of the chilling close encounters took place in the Cannock area, causing investigator Lee Brickley to be confused as to why the ghoul descended on the mining town. So the search was the second major ghostly investigation undertaken by Lee at the time, which is a pretty big task for any paranormal investigator. So if you're about to jump to the obvious conclusions, let me deter you. So this was not done around Halloween. This wasn't promoting any kind of horror movie. Oh right, 3 of the 4 sightings were inside houses. So this wasn't just a group of folks being like, ooh, a ghost, a sheet. Lee told news outlets to get so many sightings at roughly the same time is unusual. One theory is that this has nothing to do with the supernatural and eyewitnesses were experiencing sleep paralysis. So that's when folks' eyes are open but they're still in a state of sleep and everything's kind of confusing. And sure, there were reports of Slenderman seemingly pinning victims down as if sitting on their chest, and that maybe could be sleep paralysis, but I don't think so. So for starters, there's a resident of Pie Green who says she was visited by the lean, shadowy spirit on December 14th of 2014. She was awoken just before 2 a.m. by an odd scratching noise in her bedroom, and to her astonishment, there was what seemed to be a sphere-shaped shadow by the edge of her wardrobe. She got out of bed, she investigated further, and the shadow began to stretch towards the ceiling. And that's when she found herself face to face with the most disgusting and horrific creature imaginable. It was about 8 feet tall, had a white face, and super sharp fangs. Another house owner from the same area reported, as her eyes opened, she saw a man floating over her. She could see into his eyes and they were a fierce red color that shook her to her very core. The ordeal ended when the man, who was dressed completely in black with a top hat to match, floated higher and higher until he hit the ceiling and went poof. The only outdoors encounter came from a place called Castle Ring, which was an Iron Age hill fort that was a paranormal hub for a very long time. Druids like to gather there during the summer solstice. In a post on the investigator's website, the eyewitness stated, while taking a midnight stroll, they happened to notice a strange figure in the distance. It appeared to rise out of the trees and hover over the path about 100 meters in front of them. It was very dark, but they could see it very clearly because of the lights coming from a nearby area. It was also a pretty clear night, so if this witness was to compare it to anything, they said it looked like a stereotypical Victorian gentleman. Long black overcoat with a hat. And they were like, this was no flying human, because, you guessed it, it had bright red eyes that were shining in the night sky. It also had a mouthful of teeth that seemed to look super-duper sharp. Whatever it was, it stopped hovering and descended back into the trees. Yeah, they didn't really investigate further. Can't blame them. So let the record show, it's been about a decade since it all went down, and there has been no conclusion to, quote-unquote, prove anything other than cryptids were involved in this case. So, the creepy Slenderman made a bit of a resurgence in recent history because it was spotted in India. So this footage captured in May of 2022 on a new bridge over the Shadwa Dam in eastern India captured a bizarre-looking humanoid figure with really long legs and arms walking by the side of a road at night. Look, we all know Slenderman's this thin, unnaturally tall humanoid. Featureless head and face, black suit. So even though this creature looks to be in their birthday suit, The similarities are pretty hard to ignore. If you look at the video pretty closely that we have, you'll notice that the figure doesn't exactly look like a normal person. It has a ridiculously skinny torso, shockingly pale white skin, and long spindly arms and legs. The footage also demonstrates people on motorcycles swerving and dodging the figure, which then stops to slow its journey and stare at passersby who are like, nope, 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 nope. Look, obviously I can't confirm whether or not the clip is 100,000% legitimate on my own. So that's where you come in. Was it Slenderman? Was it an alien? Or was it just a really out of it, tall, skinny white person in the nude? Only time will tell, but folks on the internet do have their opinions. So this footage hit Twitter first, and it's been viewed thousands of times. Everybody's like, maybe it's a ghost, maybe it's a witch, maybe it's just a load of dung. Somebody was like, what the heck is that creature? It looked like an alien. And now somebody else was like, yeah, there's a weird, eerie red glow coming from the sky. Which, that checks. Somebody else was like, in the beginning you can see it's trying to reach something, but at the 13th second, watching the red thing fly away, it stops as well. So yeah, sure you could try and explain it away as light pollution, but I don't think so. Going back once again to 2015, the year of 1001 Slenderman sightings, so alien hunters were pretty sure they captured Slenderman on video, and they believe he has a base on Earth. So these enthusiasts say that the appearance was very consistent with sightings in Mexico, and that Slenderman might actually be hiding in Central American volcanoes. According to the Brazil Weird News, in the outskirts of Nuevo Laredo City, in broad daylight, the owner of a ranch, hearing strange noises outside the house, decided to investigate. Using his camera telephone, he filmed this elusive being. So, this creature has humanoid features. They have extremely pale skin, agile, slender, long arms and legs, small head. And perceiving he was being watched, the stranger fled, got out of vision, and went poof. So the video about all of this was posted online, and look, people who analyzed it were like, it doesn't have any cuts, there's no animation, there's no transition effects, so it's authentic. Scott Seawaring, who edits UFO Sightings Daily, was excited. He's like, Mexico is the most active country in the world for UFO and alien sightings. So they're like, hey, maybe Slenderman's an alien. And today's final video comes courtesy of popular YouTube channel Stromedy, which seems to be a large group of friends who like to go hunting for demons, ghosts, and the like, and more often than not, find themselves in some really daunting situations. This video was captured in July of 2020, or at least got posted in July of 2020, when nobody was really going outside. So there was low risk of interference, nobody out there with a ghost costume, and it was way after the 2015 craze. About 13 minutes into the video, you see a very crystal clear frame of Slenderman, just chilling before the feed cuts out, and we get another frame later on. Sure, this is definitely an instance where I'm not 100% sure of the validity, but it's definitely creepy, and the reactions seem genuine. Well, that's all for today, folks. I've been Alexa, your resident ookie spooky girly. See ya!